Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we're going to be reviewing our progress that I've been making, hopefully, maybe, we'll see, on my New Year's resolutions for 2025. So yeah, it is now March 5th. So it has been 2 months since the 1st of January when I first wrote out my 2025 resolutions. So we're gonna check on it and see how much progress we made and just look back to see what I actually wrote down and to see if I'm actually making progress on it. So the reason why I'm doing this is because according to multiple studies, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. Okay, by February, people pretty much give up on their New Year's resolutions or they don't follow through. And some of those reasons are because of unrealistic goals, possibly lack of structure and planning. Another one is doing too much too fast. And one other one, which prompts the making of this video, is not looking back on what you actually wrote down for your New Year's goals. So you basically just forget about them. So that's another big one. So that's why this video has made me go back to the drawing board and look at what I wrote down and to see how far I've come so far in reaching these goals. So let's start. So I also made a video about my New Year's 2025 goals, so you can check this video out to see what I talked about there. And now this is going to be the follow-up basically to that video to see how much progress I've made 2 months after. So let's get started. So the first New Year's resolution is to go for it. So just to not think too much about things and to just go for it, to try new things without overthinking it and getting nervous about it. So one thing that I have done was painting a basement. So I've never painted before in my life, never picked up like a paintbrush in terms of like painting the walls of a home or a space. And that was something my boyfriend was actually going to help out with his uncle's house to paint, and I was like, I'll go. Why not? Because I wanted to do something where I just go for it, try something new, and don't be nervous about it. Even if you've never done it before, just learn as you go. Don't be afraid to try something new. So I was using that was running through my mind, and so I was like, I'll come with you. So I went and I helped paint in a basement. We did white paint and then we did 2 red accent walls, and yeah, it actually turned out pretty well. I wish I had like footage to show you, sorry, but I just took the leap and just did it, something I'd never done before, and learned some tips from it. So I did do that. So I did check off, you know, that part of my resolution, but it's not just a one-time thing. It's something that's continuous. So throughout the year, just to continue to just go for it and not think about it. Another thing that I did was I went to boxing class, and I never really been into like martial arts like that too much, but I was like, you know what? Just try it. Try new things, you know, get out of your comfort zone. So I went to a boxing class and it was nice. It turned out to be pretty fun. So I'm glad I did it. You know, there you go. 2 for 2. All right. So the next one was limit YouTube usage of like scrolling on YouTube. So that I have dropped the ball on. I'll admit, gotta be honest. I was doing pretty good in January. I was looking at like my YouTube analytics and it shows you how much time has been watched from the last week to the current week, and it was like down 15% watch time from last week. So I was doing good. Like 3 weeks in a row in January, it was like down 15% each week of watching. And then, I don't know, next week came and I just didn't have that consciousness in my mind to recognize how much I was on it, and I just fell into my old ways. I'll just be on it, laying down, scrolling, watching video after video, and just, it got me. So now, I don't know if you can see it, now it says my watch time is up 17% from the previous week. I have a daily average, it says 4 hours daily average of watching YouTube, which is, yeah, I mean, that's, I guess for me it could be worse, but in general, not that great. I'm trying to keep that at like max 3 hours, 2 preferably, max 3, and get that down. So I'm up 17% from just last week. So I gotta get back into becoming more mindful about how much YouTube that I'm watching. That's something I have to get back on. And when I was reading back on this list that I made, it reminded me, because I pretty much forgot about it. It was out of sight, out of mind. So once I read that again, I was like, all right, I gotta get more conscious about that again. So I can start beginning of next week to like make sure I make that a point. So the next one I had on there was Read the Courage to be Disliked. So I actually did completely finish that book. Yay! So that book was complete. I actually do have some notes on it too in my notebook. So I just have to make it a note to go back and look at it and see what I've learned from it. So yeah, I will say I did complete that goal. So that's that checked off. And I also had another goal to read 5 books this year. So I try to do for every year since it's 2025. I'm trying to read 5 books, you know? So The Courage to be Disliked is one. So that's one book that I read. I also picked up this book and I completed it. It's 10 soft skills you need in the workplace. So soft skills for me was something that I felt like I could work on more, definitely. So this basically goes over like communication, teamwork, problem solving, time management. That's a big one. Adaptability, which I think I'm okay with. Self-confidence for sure, something I just have to be more confident in myself. Like I said, going for it and not being fearful of the possibilities, and at least it's a learning experience. Ability to learn. See, look at that. And networking. So a lot of the things that are very helpful outside of the work itself that really helps you do better and stand out at work. You know, showing empathy. I actually want to read through this again. It's a short book, which is nice. It's like 73 pages or so. And yeah, so that's 2 books down. Now, I finished reading that book probably like 3 weeks ago, and I've got to be honest, I had not picked up another book since then, so I was slacking off on that after I finished that second book. So I'm like halfway, you know, good on that goal. But once I look back on this 2025 resolution list, it's encouraged me to make sure I get another book. So I ordered another book actually today, and it's called The Power of Discipline, which kind of gives me Atomic Habit vibes. Just creating, it's not about motivation all the time, it's all about just creating a routine and being disciplined in that routine in order to reach your goals. So I got that book. It's on its way, so that'll be book number 3. And then I also ordered The Art of Persuasion. Any books that pretty much help with self-development, reaching goals, and so on and so forth, I'm looking into. So that'll be book 4. And then this is a huge book, okay? So I'm saving this one for last because this one has like 600 pages, and it is The Laws of Human Nature. So I've always been interested in kind of like psychology and how people think and why they do the things they do and what might have prompted it, nature versus nurture, and all that, personalities and types and all that. So I have Laws of Human Nature that I wanted to read. But since that book is so huge, I want that to be the last book that I tackle. So the next one was to watch more like motivational videos on YouTube, watch videos that kind of speak to the goals or, you know, the place that I'm trying to get to, and listen to other people's stories that might have struggled with some of the things that I do, and just kind of watching like videos on that to kind of get me encouraged to like want to continue to make those steps to get to that point. So that I've kind of slacked on a little bit. I started doing it, like I said, in January. The month of February, I don't think I really watched much, if I'm honest. So I definitely slacked off on that goal. So I have to get back on that one. So this is a good reminder. The next one was skincare. I'll say I halfway fell off on that. So one thing that I really enjoy is this skin moisturizer. Hope you can see it. It's by Origins. It's called A Perfect World, and it has an SPF 40. It is an age defense moisturizer with white tea. I mostly use it because it really moisturizes my skin. It gives it a really nice glow, and it has an SPF, so it truly moisturizes my skin. more than any others that I really use. So I did buy a new one of this, and I make it a note to use this every day, and I have been keeping up with that. So I'll give myself half credit for that one. But when it comes to like face mask, that was really what I was trying to get more into. That I had slacked off on. I don't think I used a face mask once all of February. So, in the beginning of January, I even purchased some face masks just to, you know, start on this goal, and I used it for like the first probably 2 weeks, and I hadn't used it since then. So this is just sitting here, and I haven't used them in 3 weeks, so I've been slacking off when it comes to this. So I got to get back on that, and make it a routine to at least do it at least once a week, once to twice a week. The next one is to use organizational platforms. So I was doing pretty good at this in January and some of February. I was writing down my to-do list on Notion, which is a organization software. So I was utilizing that to time block all the things that I need to do so I can stick to my goals, and making sure I created structure to complete the goals. So I did do that, but I have slacked off on actually putting the things on my calendar, and that's probably why I slacked off on all the other goals that I slacked off with, because I stopped making it a note to put it in my calendar to make sure I read. On my calendar it says from this time to that time to read, and I haven't been doing that. So I have to get back to utilizing the organizational platforms like time blocking, using the calendar, using Notion platform to keep up with the things that I need to do to keep up with my goals. So this ties in together with everything else pretty much. So definitely gonna, for next week, create a breakdown calendar of all the things I need to do. And the next one was to learn new skills. So Excel. So I was doing that. So I'd say I'm doing pretty good on learning new skills. I've been doing like the Excel, the course. I've been doing the Excel practice exercises. If I'm honest, I haven't been doing it in the last 2 weeks, I will say. So I did fall off on it a little bit, but I'm going to get back on it. Make sure I put it on my calendar to have it scheduled out, time block it for next week, so I make sure to get back into continuing to learn more skills in Excel. I did do a little bit of like the AI kind of chat GPT. I utilized it a little bit. I actually used it to create like a cover letter pretty much, and I would just put the main points that I wanted to point out and just kind of write one word or one sentence for each of the things that you want to include in your cover letter, and then it just created a whole 1-page letter just based off of a couple of words and sentences. And I was like, whoa. Chat GPT, that AI is next level. Like literally, we don't even have to think anymore when it comes to writing and perfect English, perfect grammar. It's crazy. So I did actually utilize that, and I was like, wow, this can really come in handy in a lot of ways. There's a subscription now I have to use if I want to continue to use that ChatGPT service, but at least I'm aware of how it works and that it is available. So yeah. And lastly is to try to find solutions. One of the things I kind of slacked off in my last work experience, I would say, was making a note to find solutions. I would just be content with whatever chaos there was. If something was messed up, I was like, oh well, that's just what it is. Just let it be. But I really want to get into looking for ways to make it better instead of just accepting it for what it is. See if there's a way that we can make a process quicker or less paper or whatever the case may be. And I actually did practice this at my gym job that I'm currently at right now. We have like a daily checklist that we would check off and sign our name off. There was one page for each day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, another page for each of them in order to check off everything that we did. So I decided, let me play around a little bit and see if I can get it the full week on just one page. Instead of having a page for each day, just put all the days of the week on one piece of paper, and then we can still go down and check it. So we're saving like 6 pieces of paper per week. So I did it, I put it together, and now it's in use. So that was one way where I took something and I was like, let's see if we can make it better. Let's see if we can make it more efficient. And I put forth the effort, and I ended up doing it. I showed the manager at the gym, and he was like, oh wow, you put this together, this is good. So look at me. So I was excited that I did that. I was like, you know what, it definitely makes you stand out. You know, it shows that you're really dedicated. And yeah, so small wins. So just continuing that, even going forward, if I were to get other employment, just to make that a note to try to find a solution. So yeah guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. So like I said, we're probably about 50-50 here. Half of the goals I'm doing pretty well on. The other half I slacked off on. I gotta get back on it. So good thing that I kind of took a look back at the goals that I made for myself for 2025, because now I can see where I need to jump back on it, and I can remember what I even had written down to know what I need to work on. So if you also wrote down some New Year's goals, make it a note to look back at it. Just check back to see the progress that you made so far. You may not even realize the things that you forgot that you had on your list. So this is a great way to kind of track your progress, and I think that is probably one of the biggest ways to continue to actually reach those goals and not be a part of the 80% that don't reach or fail their goals within the first month. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.